Now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is ESPN college football insider analyst, former national champion at BYU, Trevor Matich. Trevor, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas holiday and an early Happy New Year to you.
And Happy New Year to you guys as well. It's been an amazing holiday.
Man, it has. Tons of football. And, oh, man, the storylines that came out over the weekend in the college football playoff. We'll get to that in just a moment. But let's start with this. 1 week later, what thoughts do you have now looking back on BYU's loss to Hawaii in the Hawai'i Bowl?
Man, that was frustrating. I mean, it was exciting to watch. It was so much fun to watch. And there were so many ups and downs. Unfortunately, the downs mostly came at the very end when the game was on the line. And so credit Hawaii for making the plays. But for BYU fans, for all the excitement, it sure ended with a sour taste.
What did you think of the play call on 3rd and 2 for BYU?
I was fine with it because that Hawaii offense had been shut down by the BYU defense in the second half, but they were heating up. Cole McDonald, the Hawaii quarterback, really struggled in the third quarter, but he was starting to pick it up again as the fourth quarter rolled along. And on 3rd and 2, I thought it was a good play to be aggressive and try to win that thing and get a first down rather than just run it and try to run some clock off. And, and they might have gotten the first down running it as well, but I think Hawaii expected them to do that. And it would have been more difficult to get the first down running than it would have been throwing the ball. And it was a safe throw. They just couldn't execute it. But the idea of being aggressive and calling the best play that they thought they had for that moment to get a first down, pass or run, was the right move. And it turned out to be a pass, but it was still the right call in my opinion.
Trevor Matich of ESPN with us on BYU Sports Nation. Zach Wilson, the sophomore quarterback, has come under some scrutiny because of another late-game interception and a fumble at the goal line and some critical turnovers. What did you think of Zach Wilson's performance overall in the bowl game this year?
I thought it was vintage Zach Wilson. I thought he made some fantastic throws. He showed a lot of courage, especially on that helicopter play on the goal line. Now, the ball came out. A lot of BYU fans think it was a touchdown anyway, but even so, just the physical courage of Zach Wilson to go for that play in a bowl game, that was fantastic. And he had some plays he'd rather have back. And so that's the I think, path of a young quarterback. And I don't think any less of Zach Wilson because of the mistakes. I am really excited for his future because of the good things they have to build on, and he showed a lot of those in this bowl game.
Following up on that, Trevor, the coaching staff this entire season, and really since they've been here, have always talked about every position there's competition, and that's the way it is. Do you expect a true quarterback competition this offseason?
There should be. There absolutely should be. Not because of Zach Wilson, but because of what you said, that every position needs to have a competition. And BYU is in the position of most college football teams, that they don't have enough competition at enough positions to really get the very, very best advantage of those kinds of competitions in practice. And for players don't like it because they'd rather not be pushed like that. But I would refer any player that thinks that way to Clemson. One of the keys to Clemson's sustained success over the last several years has been that even the All-Americans from the year before that are returning have got to earn their starting position again, not just in spring and fall practice, but in practice every day of the week. And every player knows that if they outperform the guy in front of them on the depth chart, even during the week in practice, they have a good chance not to just play, but a good chance to earn the starting position at some point. And that's one of the things that makes them better. And BYU, the more positions they have that competition, the better. And they have a kind of a luxury at quarterback with Baylor Romney and Jaron Hall, and maybe others that will be coming in that'll be able to push Zach Wilson, and it will make them all better.
Trevor Matich of ESPN on BYU Sports Nation. The Cougars, for a second consecutive year, finished 7-6. And I know that it's college football and football in general. Teams go through ups and downs. There are peaks and valleys, whatever other cliche terms you want to throw in there. But BYU's swings felt pretty wild. I mean, BYU beats Boise State. They beat USC, a couple of teams that were ranked going into the final college football playoff rankings. Yet they have losses to Toledo, USF, and close out with kind of a sputtering finish against Hawaii. So how does BYU avoid the wildly crazy swings of inconsistency?
Well, they build depth. I think that's a big part of it. I think the Hawai'i Bowl was kind of an outlier from the rest of the season. I think that really the thing that frustrates most fans is that after going 2-2 in that stretch against 4 Power 5 teams, then beating Tennessee, who became an SEC bowl team, and then USC, a Pac-12 bowl team, who was ranked at the end of the regular season, as you mentioned, then they lost at Toledo and South Florida. But I really think that a big part of that was that BYU, it just took so much out of them physically to go through that stretch. And I believe no other team in college football opened the season with 4 consecutive Power 5 opponents. And so BYU stood alone in the taxing nature of the first month of their season. And what will help them get over that and not have a bit of a slump after that is to continue to improve depth. But I think the trajectory of the program is such that they will continue to attract more and better recruits that will help them build that depth and that competition at more positions that we've talked about.
So with the same 7-6 record, do you think BYU improved this season?
I think they do. I think they did, because you look at the nature of it. I mean, one of the Power 5 wins last year, well, they beat Arizona and they beat Wisconsin, right? And so those are their Power 5 wins. Well, this year it's Tennessee and USC. And that Wisconsin win was magnificent, just magnificent. The Arizona win was good. It was good. But I would say both the Tennessee and USC wins are better than that. And then last year, they lost to Boise State. This year, they beat Boise State. Now, granted, Boise State had a backup quarterback, but so did BYU. And so it was a fair fight. And so I think you can point to signs of getting better against the better opponents on their schedule this year.
Trevor, if you had to give BYU football a headline for the 2019 season, what would that headline say?
Well, that's a good question. It's a tough one. I would say moving in the right direction. That's too long for a headline. Moving in the right direction is fine. That'll do it, because they did some great things, but they lost some games that they shouldn't have lost. And so, it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But I think the 2 steps forward weren't accidental. I think the signature wins on BYU's schedule, certainly in the month of September, Tennessee and USC both went to overtime, and BYU was the most physical team in both of those overtimes. And I think especially the Tennessee one really tells a story, because Tennessee was kind of desperate. They needed this BYU win, and it was in Knoxville. And at the end of the game, Tennessee seemed to have it won, but BYU fought harder and worked harder and made the plays at the end of the game to tie it up and send it to overtime. And then BYU was the stronger team in overtime. And I think that is such a great building block for this program moving forward. And that, to me, kind of is the defining part of this season. It defined this BYU team, this group of BYU seniors, as fighters. I mean, fighters. And there were times when they lost the fight, but I tell you what, they showed early in the season that not only were they unafraid of the fight, they relished the fight.
Trevor, let's go big picture college football. We had the college football playoff semifinals over the weekend. 2 games could not have been more different. Were you surprised by any of the outcomes you saw over this weekend?
No, not really. I mean, I figured that LSU would score points in flurries. I just didn't realize that it would, score them so fast. I mean, they had a full game's worth of points midway through the second quarter, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Oklahoma's defense was depleted. They had suspensions of a bunch of guys, including their top pass rusher, who didn't play at all. Then one of their starting safeties was injured heading into the game, so he didn't play. And then another DB got injured, and Joe Burrow went after those replacements in the secondary. And so, but you expected LSU to win that game handily. The Ohio State-Clemson game, I expected to be almost too close to call. I thought Ohio State would win, and it really came down, in my opinion, to 2 mistakes that Ohio State made. I'm not even talking about the referee's call on a potential reception, fumble, scoop, and score that they overturned. I'm talking about a targeting on the quarterback, which was unnecessary, and then a 2nd and 3 and 4 conversions. And so I Ohio State safety targeted the quarterback, and a roughing the punter penalty that Ohio State committed against Clemson. On both of those, it was either a punt or it was going to be a punt, and Ohio State would have maintained the momentum. Instead, Clemson got the ball back on both of those, and a few plays later scored touchdowns on both of those, and that's really the difference in the game. And so, other than the way it turned out and the reasons it turned out, I thought it would be tight. I thought it would be, a good game, and it was hard to tell who might win, and Clemson ended up making fewer mistakes.
Trevor, let's finish with this. Who wins the college football national championship between LSU and Clemson, and why?
Oh, this is tough. It's too early for me to really say right now. I need to dig in a little bit more to those semis. I lean LSU just because not only do they have a feel of a team of destiny, that passing game is just amazing. And their defense has really risen up. And really the defensive matchup for LSU is a good one against Clemson because they've got a first-round draft choice safety in Grant Delpit, a future first-round draft choice Derek Stingley cornerback. The other corner, Christian Fulton, is playing really well, and the front seven is really playing well. So I lean LSU, but call me back a day before the game, and we'll revisit it.
All right. Trevor, great stuff. Happy New Year to you again. Enjoy the College Football National Championship and all of those New Year's Day games. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And don't worry, that Hawaii sunburn will fade sometime before February.
Thanks, Trevor.